The most obsolete idea is go to school, get a job, work hard, save money, get out of debt, and invest for the long term in the stock market.
Rich Dad, Poor Dad is Robert Kiyosaki's story of growing up with a poor dad, his middle-class biological father, and a rich dad, his best friend's father, and a savvy entrepreneur. Kiyosaki learned rich people buy assets that make them money, rather than working for an income. Rich and poor people have very different ideas about money. What separates the rich and the poor? One part of it is that money or finance is rarely taught in school. Kids learn about money at home. This means kids often end up learning and repeating the same habits that kept their parents poor. A huge failure of our education system is that it does not teach basic financial literacy. At age 9, Kiyosaki and his friend Mike wanted to be rich. They were jealous of other kids at school who were driven in fancy cars. The other kids sometimes excluded them for being poor. One day Kiyosaki's father found the two boys melting toothpaste tubes into counterfeit nickels. They were trying to make money. After explaining to them this was illegal, he told the two disappointed boys that Mike's dad knew how to make money. Mike was surprised by this because his dad didn't have an expensive car or house. Kiyosaki's biological father, aka Poor Dad, was well educated, but he could not teach his son how to become rich. But Kiyosaki found another mentor in his best friend's dad, Rich Dad, who was building a business empire. Rich Dad taught through real-world experiences, not lectures. Rich Dad said he was teaching the boys through real-world experiences, not lectures. By giving Robert an opportunity to work for not enough money, Robert got a taste of how most people live their whole working lives. Most people always feel like they don't make enough money for everything. Even when their income increases, it doesn't change their situation in the long term. Rich Dad said if Robert worked in his supermarket, then he would learn to make money. Robert soon became tired of working for little pay and confronted Rich Dad. This turned out to be the first real-world lesson, that most people are stuck in jobs they dislike being paid too little. Spotting opportunity is a skill you can acquire. Rich Dad said it was very important to learn how not to be controlled by fear or greed. When most people go to a job they don't love 8 hours every day or urge their kids to finish a degree that leads to a secure career, they are being run by fear. Even rich people often have a bigger fear of losing it all than when they had little money. Most people are too focused on making money in the short term with a job, so they never learn how to spot business opportunity. Rich Dad had taught them a priceless lesson. By having the two boys work for no money, they had learned how to be creative and find a new way to make money. Rich Dad said working without getting paid would train Robert's mind to see opportunity. Soon enough, Robert thought of a money-making plan. He recycled the old comic books from the supermarket, opening a comic library that other kids paid him to use. People become wealthy not from working, but by buying income-producing assets. More money usually does not solve financial problems. You see this truth most clearly in people who win the lottery or landed a big inheritance, only to be broke again a few years later. If something provides you income, then it is an asset. If it costs you money, then it is a liability. Good assets types include 1. Stocks, 2. Bonds, 3. Real estate that generates income. 4. Businesses that don't require your physical presence. 5. Intellectual property that gives you royalties, like music, books, etc. Rich Dad explained this point of view over and over, which I call lesson number 1. The poor and the middle class work for money. The rich have money work for them. Most people confuse liabilities with assets. For example, Kiyosaki has controversially said your house is not an asset because while houses tend to go up in value, they don't provide income. Also, because many people buy the most expensive home their bank will let them sign a mortgage on, they don't have money left over to invest in real assets. Here is a nice short video from Kiyosaki to help explain assets and liabilities.
Right.
Assets put money in your pocket, liabilities take money from your pocket. They count anything of value as an asset. They count your car as an asset, your house as an asset. When it's really taking money from your pocket, Your retirement plan, guess what? It's a liability. It's taking money from your pocket every month. And whose pocket does it go to? Wall Street.
Keep expenses and liabilities low, so your money can be poured into buying assets. Rich Dad always stressed the importance of this to Kiyosaki. Then, when your assets are producing income, you can use that money to buy things you want. When I want a bigger house, I first buy assets that will generate the cash flow to pay for the house. A higher income usually does not solve money problems. You can see how many lottery winners and rich athletes are soon broke again. The real way to build wealth is to buy assets, which are things that put money into your pocket like stocks, bonds, certain real estate, etc. Real estate is a great asset type because it provides a stable foundation. Kiyosaki always starts with a small property, then trades up to larger and larger properties. In the US, there are big tax benefits to trading up like this. You can put the money from a real estate sale into a 1031 tax-deferred exchange and use that money to directly buy another property without paying capital gains tax on that transaction. This means you save a lot of money and can grow your real estate investments much faster. Kiyosaki says it's very important not to overpay for a property. If you pay too much in the beginning, then you will usually not make the money back later. One quote he repeats over and over again is, "Always remember, profits are made in the buying, not in the selling." In the US, you can grow your real estate investments much faster by using a 1031 tax-deferred exchange when you trade up to larger properties. The best time to invest in any market, real estate, stocks, etc., is when everyone else is scared to buy during a crash. Work to learn new skills, not for immediate income. View work primarily as a learning opportunity, especially early in your life. Rich Dad encouraged Kiyosaki to learn from a wide variety of life experiences, which included trying out different types of jobs. Poor Dad, on the other hand, believed Kiyosaki should get a degree in a very specialized narrow field, which would let him land a secure job with benefits at a big company. The most important skill to learn is sales and marketing. No matter what job you are doing, you will need to sell and market something. It could be selling a product, selling an idea, or even selling yourself. Pick jobs based on what they can teach you. Kiyosaki worked for Standard Oil to learn trade, Xerox to learn sales, and joined the Marines to learn leadership. The most important skill to learn is sales and marketing. No matter what, you will always need to sell some product, idea, or yourself. We all have inner obstacles to wealth like fear, arrogance, and laziness. Have you ever known that you should do something, but you still didn't do it? We all have internal blocks that stop us from becoming wealthy, even after we have become more financially educated. Kiyosaki says these inner blocks include 1. Fear, 2. Arrogance, 3. Laziness, 4. Bad habits, and 5. Cynicism. The first of these obstacles is fear. People are afraid to lose money. But the reality is that even Warren Buffett loses money with some of his decisions. Nobody likes to lose money, but it's part of the process of investing and growing wealth. Unfortunately, the main reason most people are not rich is because they are terrified of losing. Winners are not afraid of losing. But losers are. Failure is part of the process of success. People who avoid failure also avoid success. A second big obstacle to wealth is arrogance. This is the attitude that what I don't know does not matter. It's about being closed to learning new things or changing your mind about an opinion. Rich Dad often said arrogance always cost him money. Someone can be smart but arrogant. Many people, perhaps most people, begin buying investments without learning about investing. This is a costly mistake. A third obstacle is laziness. Kiyosaki says the cure for laziness is a little greed. Poor Dad would often say we can't afford it, or worse, guilt trip his son for even asking for something. Do you know how much your mother and I do for you? Rich Dad, on the other hand, taught him to ask the question, how can I afford it, which sparked motivation and creativity. Overcome fear by knowing that every investor loses money, it's just part of the road to success. Overcome arrogance by always learning more as you accumulate assets. Overcome laziness with a little greed, thinking creatively about how you could afford the things you want. Having a corporation can offer you many benefits, including tax savings. Rich people use their financial knowledge to legally pay less taxes. For example, higher income taxes don't really affect the truly wealthy. Opening a personal corporation can protect your personal assets like your home, and, in some situations, you'll pay less taxes. Pay yourself first, even when it's uncomfortable. Paying yourself first means to invest some percentage of your income before you pay anything else. So, for example, putting aside 10% for your retirement savings before you pay your bills, your mortgage, or even your taxes avoid a lot of consumer debt. This makes paying yourself first much easier. If you keep your debt and unnecessary expenses small, then you will only have small bills due every month. This means you can save money to buy assets more easily. Later use the cash flow from your assets to buy that nice car or house you want. Rich Dad always invested a part of his income to buying assets, even before he paid important bills or taxes. His accountants thought he was crazy, but this practice highly motivated him to become better at making money, just like lifting weights at the gym makes someone stronger.